So, g'day and welcome back to the Latrobe U Space podcast. Today you're with me, Brenton. We're going to have a bit of a chat around filming and tips for getting started. So, I think the biggest thing with filming and getting started is just to get in there and have a go. You can only really learn by experience. You know, you'll start to create your films, your little shorts and stuff like that, and you'll go through it and you'll go, how can I improve this? What could I have done better? And I think that's the biggest tip that anybody can give to starting to film. Secondly, as a bit of a heads up, I think maybe making sure that you've got depth in your shots. So what I mean by that is don't position your characters and stuff directly in front of a wall. It makes it look kind of forced and not natural. So if you can bring it open and open up the camera shot, you can be a bit creative too. Sometimes you can film people from one side of the room for one half of the conversation, and then you can turn them around or move them to the other side of the room, and it'll make the room look much more open, even though it could be quite a small space, and that will still give the illusion that there's depth in the shot. It's one of the biggest important things, I think, to first starting off creating your own films. Depth in your shot is a really, really big difference between something looking more, I guess, professional. It'll really, really improve the quality of your work. Secondly is sound. It's really important to make sure that your sound's all right. This doesn't necessarily mean that you need, an awesome mic or anything like that, but just being aware that making sure the sound levels are right, trying to minimize the wind into the mic and everything like that. Because when you get all of those little bits and pieces going into the sound, it can really distract and it can really take away from the story that you're trying to tell, and can take the audience out of their suspended disbelief. So they'll start to think, they realize that they're watching a set, that they're not watching, the story that you're trying to tell. So sound, that's another big thing, to try to make it as crisp as you possibly can. Another tip I've got is to start by writing some scripts. If you're going to be creating your own film, and if you're going to be like directing and filming it on your own, maybe at home during isolation, it's a really good idea to have a bit of an idea of what you want to do first. You can come up with some kind of on-the-fly stuff if you want, just have some fun. But working on some scripts, trying to get it down on paper so you know what you're doing, and so that your actors and stuff know what they're doing too, if you've got that, if you've got some resources around you. This would be really good for, obviously you need a script for any kind of, bigger sized work that's not kind of mucking around on TikTok or something like that. But practicing script writing is really important, practicing dialogue, making sure that everything makes sense. So that could be the timing of lines. So you could have two characters that are, maybe they're upset with each other, and you might notice after you've done your filming that one character reacted in a positive way before getting angry to what the other person had said, when it doesn't really make sense. Because if the tensions are starting to flare, story revolves around conflict, and in this sense we're using it in a really literal sense, it just may not make that much sense that that the character isn't reacting in a way that they naturally would. That dialogue, practicing that dialogue and making it all make sense, having it all tie together, is a really, really important step to keep the viewer within that suspended disbelief. And the only way that you'll get better at script writing is to just do it. It's something that, it's like any skill. The more you practice, the same as filming in general, the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. And script writing can be a lot of fun too. It is quite time consuming, but it can be a lot of fun. And you can really get it in your head too, and the visual around the dialogue and around the lines, around where the characters might be standing, how they might be feeling in that moment. And you can encourage your actors to bring that idea that you've got in your head to life, and you've kind of got it in a bit of concrete in that script. And for some more logistical or I guess hands-on tips, you don't really need anything too crazy to get started filming. Most people have a smartphone on your Android or iPhone, and you can get started on that. The tip there would be to make sure you're recording in landscape. So turn your phone to the side to record, so you're not getting these black lines and stuff. It'll just make the resolution much better for filming. And you can just get started with that. That's all you really need. There's some free apps you can for both Android and iPhone that are free video editing software. You can jump online and download those apps, and you can just get hooked straight into it. It's really quite straightforward. The first couple of films that I edited and filmed with Latrobe Uspace were actually all done off an iPhone, and they were edited off an iPhone, and I'd never done films before. I just had a bit of a crack, had a bit of a go, and like anything, the more you practice, the better you get at it, and later on we got some dedicated software. But yeah, the first films were actually all edited off an iPhone. It's not, it's something that everybody can have a go at. And if you're really interested in it, you can always just jump on your phone, have a bit of a go, maybe come up with some short little shorts to just put on your Facebook or something like that, just to kind of start sinking your teeth into it. It's probably a really good idea. And like I said, just get on there, have a go. The biggest thing you can do to start getting into filming is just get in there and have a go. Alrighty guys, this has been Brenton with Latrobe Uspace signing out.